Hello, Astro friends. It's Melanie on the 5th of August 2024, the day after the Leo new moon. Central Leo, central summer. We're now in the Lammas season and approaching the 8-8 Lion's Gate. What a week of yet more increasing and incoming light, cosmic light from our spiritual sun, Sirius. Sirius is rising before the sun at dawn after 8-8. So this has been a beautiful spiritual celebration and goes back to Egyptian times when goddess Isis was revered as the planet as the star Sirius, and Osiris was the what we know as Orion, right? So there is an old tradition to this, and we can still celebrate the incoming light of cosmic energy from Sirius, our spiritual sun. And it's also a beautiful time to celebrate the sacred and divine feminine, just like goddess Isis, mother goddess, mother of Horus, bringing the waters back to the Nile after Sirius has arisen. Typically, the fertile season began, and now we're having also here this year Venus entering Virgo, the sign of the sacred feminine, of the priestess, yet also together with the Leo new moon. What a strong energy in central Leo, and bringing Venus into Virgo, plus also bringing Mercury into retrograde. So with all that combination, yesterday was a super powerful day. Interestingly, I had today a first-time client whose rising sign is exactly aligned, just 1 degree off of the Leo new moon. I just love when synchronicities and alignments happen that way, that we now at this time, actually with Mercury retro, we can be more open for that. The universe always orchestrates these messages of connectedness, and Mercury retro gives us the opportunity to tap into that more intentionally or accidentally, also called synchronicities. Now, what's with all this energy that's rolling out now with the new Leo moon lunar season, lunar cycle, since the mid Leo new moon to the mid Virgo new moon on September 2nd? We're in this phase now, freshly starting. So, this week is, of course, a big integration of the Leo new moon and of 8-8 Lionsgate. These are the major features this week. So let's review a little bit the Leo new moon of yesterday. It's still pretty fresh, and at this time, as I'm recording, 1:13 p.m., the moon is still in Leo for another hour, and you might see it with a young Virgo moon. Young is usually the first crescent of the moon visible in the evening sky, and that will be actually this week, this time tomorrow, Tuesday, with the beautiful alignment that is exact this evening of Venus, Mercury retro, and the moon all together in early Virgo just after the new moon. First sliver visible in the evening sky, and initiating really that early Virgo energy, blending over from Leo, and activating the Sphinx point cusp from Leo to Virgo. So here's the chart of the new moon, and you can see here already this dynamic central Leo to early Virgo, super strong at this time, and the Sphinx point being, of course, also the self-awareness point, where the self, the strong Leo self, becomes aware of itself, where we also bring our heart, our strength of the Leo qualities into service and channel that energy into something that helps, that brings our life into alignment and helps others as well. And the self-awareness is always super important. So whatever we encounter and whom we encounter is of course also a reflection of ourselves and helps us understand ourselves better. This is the piece around Leo Virgo, and it's also an initiation point from the Leo king or queen into sacred service, into priestesshood in Virgo. It's not a step down, it's actually an evolution to bring, as they also said traditionally, the king is the first servant of the people, and we need more of that energy again, that's for sure. So, king, I mean in this case, all sorts of leaders, political, social, societal, to not be self-serving. And shadow of Leo, of course, is also narcissistic and too enamored, but often in compensation for true confidence and strength. Anyway, this is Leo, and it strengthens our lion heart. And also, since there's a connection from the Leo sun and moon that's getting stronger even after the new moon, especially from the sun in the next week. When is that? When the sun will be in trine with Chiron. I'm just looking it up and finding when it's gonna happen in sometime around 16th, 17th. For some strange retro reason, I can't find it. But this is the week building up to that trine, to that fire trine from the sun to Chiron. At this point, with the Leo new moon, there was a trine from the North Node in Aries to that Leo side. So Aries comes into the picture, more fire, more spirit, but in a different way. Aries being the warrior, Leo being the king and queen. So warrior energy, bravery, and facing situations, stepping into the new, being authentic, showing up for yourself as yourself, especially when it is scary to do something about it that is authentic but not rushed or out of a reaction or out of a low warrior vibration or survival vibration. So we want to bring that energy now into a higher warrior quality. So what is it that we're actually standing for and we're really strong in? And that is also about renewal. With Aries, it's about renewal of life, and we'll see lots of that Aries energy when Saturn and Neptune together enter Aries next year, next July 2025, and again in February 2026. They align and are together in early Aries. So yes, it's a big impulse, a lot of strength for that, a lot of power is being gathered here. Also Central Leo. Central Leo, by the way, is exact not on Lammas when it's usually celebrated August 1st, but 15 degrees of Leo are only on August 6th and 7th, right? So the new moon yesterday was at 12.5 degrees, so it's still 2.5 days to go. And so this is the Central Leo week of the year, the central summer week of the year. And the central part of the fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, are called the gates of power. These are also the cross-quarter days in the Celtic and traditional calendar of the Celtic people. And we have now reached the gate of Leo, the Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate is, of course, the power of love, the power of the heart. And that's also where 8-8 comes in with lots of spiritual energy coming and igniting our hearts and igniting the spirit, and so much love and light is around. So it would be beautiful if you did a ceremony for that as a new beginning from the heart, from the strong, brave lion heart, Leo Aries. And what else is going on? We are speaking of Aries. The ruler of Aries, Mars, is coming more into the picture next week, and it's building up. You see, Mars is approaching Jupiter in Gemini. So there's a lot of energy here, and especially in the Gemini department. So Gemini has to do with diversities, polarities, and bridging those, bringing the puzzle pieces together. And but it also has to do with division, dividedness. One side, one face, one side of your brain says this, the other one says that. How can you reconcile it? And having many faces and many different ideas that may or may not converge, that's also very Gemini. And all of that is really out now. So much information, so much talk, so much debate with a Mars perspective. But hopefully we're not going more into division with that, but we're actually seeing that more needs to be learned, right? Gemini is a learner, and more interest is also coming in, so we can learn so much about the world, about ourselves, things we were not aware of. And this conjunction is not only, which happens every 2 years only, not only a conjunction of Mars Jupiter, it will be also a square with Saturn in Pisces. So the square is a conflict, is a clash of energies, is a friction, so you can't miss it, and it's already in the making. That's why I'm already talking about it. But all this dynamic of Mars Jupiter squaring Saturn will be exact August 14th to 19th, and the 19th will even be the exact full moon day. Take a sip here. Coffee today because it's Leo and because it's early afternoon. So what's building up here is that crisis, right? A square is a crisis energy, and the crisis here comes from the two sides, from Jupiter in Gemini, from Saturn in Pisces. It goes back actually to the time when these two planets were aligned and started a new 20-year cycle, which was at Winter Solstice. Yes, exactly, 2020. They came together at the first degree of Aquarius, starting a new 20-year cycle, which they always do. The last one started in 2000, and this one early Aquarius. And it is about a new era for our shared humanity. Humanity Aquarius, right? So coming out of the Capricorn phase into Aquarius, but we're also coming out of the Pisces age into the Aquarius era. So we're really in a shifting of eras at this point. And client asked me this morning, so when does this actually start? Are we in the Aquarius age? They are overlapping, right? It's a transition time. The transition theme is also a Piscean theme with Saturn there and Neptune there. So we are also releasing residues of the Pisces age, and they can have to do with our own, like affinity or unconscious affinity, tuning into old ways of being entangled in codependent dynamics, in shadows of Pisces age, being the victim, being the martyr, being a savior, all these roles that were intertwined, but ultimately we're moving into Aquarius age of more freedom and equality, egality, right? This is not a subordination. Nobody stands below or above, and that's quite a struggle from this square perspective, right? No wonder this comes up now as old residues of Pisces age are still happening. We are also learners from the Gemini side, and a lot is being debated around how can this be possible? How can we actually reconcile this new human approach, right? How this human experiment and this evolution of humanity, and not lose our humanity or not go into extremes, which can also naturally happen in all these processes when Pluto, as Pluto is now freshly in Aquarius, but backtracking once more to Capricorn, September 1st to November 19th. We're also tapping back into the old world, old empires, and see what needs to be transformed and purged, what shadow is still revealing itself, and where we have been still in power dynamics with it. But we're coming out of it, and yeah, and the Gemini side would say, yeah, we're learning, right? We are just at school again as humans of all ages, and let's be curious and learn from each other, and also question old narratives, question our own old assumptions, and certain energies that kept us stuck and held us back, and kept us, that would be Saturn, right? Or kept us in confusion, in delusion, Pisces, in scarcity, Saturn. There's so much to all of this, which is now really up. And it's not only, the square is not only happening once on, so in this phase from August 14th to 19th, there's a second part coming right on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December of that. So we will experience that for the rest of the year, and its process, of course, has already started. So yes, so there's a lot going on in these dynamics that I just described, the strong lion heart. So again, cultivating a strong self from the heart, and self-love, creativity, play, and joy, right? All of that is Leo, radiating the light, radiating the SIRIUS cosmic light of the spiritual sun. And yes, what else is going on this week? As I said yesterday, Venus entered Virgo, which is also fresh now. So Venus is in the sign that is about the sacred feminine, about the priestess, about the hermit, about self-sufficiency. Doesn't mean there is no relationship, but there is discernment, that's for sure. So not just being open to anything that comes and connects, and we feel in bliss, and we feel in love. All of that can be the Pisces side, but Venus in Virgo says, hey, we gotta be in alignment, and life and relationships have to be in alignment with our values, alignment with the work we've done, and alignment with our higher self, right? And in cosmic alignment with what is healthy, what is functional, what works really well, right? Makes the energy also very grounded, while Venus in Leo up to yesterday was more passionate, right? So Virgo always more practical, but of course in Virgo she can be also a bit too much on the picky side and too much on the doing side. There's not so much about what you do, but really who you are. The being side comes more in with Pisces, and then the showing up with Aries. But Venus in Virgo can, on a very positive note, attract us now to doing the good work, right, that we're here to do, and also to bring our house in order, which can be literally a wonderful time for summer clearing, especially since Mercury is now also retro, same time, almost identical time, August 4th to 28th, while Venus in Virgo, August 4th to 29th. So that corresponds. And Mercury rules Virgo, of course. Mercury has started its journey, retro journey in Virgo, and goes back to Leo. What's with that? So the Mercury retro phase 3 times a year for 3 weeks. The last one was in April, this one now, and the next one in December. This time in Earth to Fire signs, right? So it's always in the same element. And the last one was actually exclusively in Aries, I believe. And this one Virgo to back to Leo, mostly in Leo. So that Mercury retro phase, as always, brings us back from the hyperactive mind, especially in Virgo, very busy, always, finding also problems to address and to solve, which might not even be problems. That's very Virgo, right? So from that place of problem consciousness and from mental overdrive, coming back to the heart, coming back to spirit, to consciousness. And that's beautiful because the connection of Mercury retro with the Sun, which is always the halfway point of Mercury retro, will be August 18th, end of Leo, and August 18th also just before the full moon. So that will be quite a beautiful process leading up to that. And we can already anticipate that, of course, with the astrological awareness, that catching the mind, when the mind takes over, coming back to the heart, coming back to love, coming back to spirit, and letting the mind be the assistant of that. And in the meantime, it's a beautiful time for magic and synchronicities, of course, right? Because there are messages, as I said at the beginning, being conveyed by the universe, and connections, reconnections, and intuitive associations with people that might have been off our radar are coming back, and that can lead to so much, right? So Mercury retro also brings back what's been latent in the whole communicative department, and it helps us also see, read between the lines, but don't read things into them, but see a bigger context, maybe subtext of what's being communicated, and so I'm always excited for Mercury retro, actually, but it can also bring some traffic and communicative issues, because often things are not as anticipated. So it's a really good time to trust intuition and not dismiss that and say, oh yeah, well, whatever. No, actually follow up on that, and maybe that means to ask and communicate more when needed. Don't under communicate, but don't over communicate either. So it's kind of a little game around that. So what else is going on this week? Yes, I said Lionsgate on the 8th. And with the Central Leo, again to emphasize that we're now Central Leo, the central 10 degrees and 10 days of Leo, from August 1st to or 2nd, from August 2nd to the 12th. That's why I also extended the video phase here to the 12th, because that's exactly till the end of the second decade of Leo, with Leo undertone, double Leo energy, and then it shifts on the 12th, from the 12th to the 22nd. It shifts to Leo with Sag undertone. So now it's about really strengthening and cultivating love and the power of love. And then it's about walking the path of love. That's Leo and Sat, right? So, and the path of truth too, but it wants to come from the heart, right? And but now really cultivating love and cultivating strength and confidence and yeah, all the solar glory in its best. Celebrating life, celebrating this special privilege to be on this earth at this time. And what's with the moon this week? Yes, we just had the Leo new moon this afternoon. The moon goes from Leo to Virgo over the Sphinx point and will be in Virgo and will be visible for the first time after newness as the young moon together with Mercury and Venus. And so the moon will be in Virgo from this afternoon on to 17 p.m. All day Tuesday tomorrow, all day Wednesday the 7th until until Thursday morning or late night, 2:31 a.m. So this is a good time to also tend to business, so to say, right? Tend to all things that need to be you know, uh, where we need to bring order into our lives. Order versus chaos, order for things that are basically not aligned, then that can have to do also, sorry, with our, it's just like the shaky thing here, have to do also with our lifestyle, our health, our diet. So it would be a wonderful time for a new beginning in that regard. A new practice, a new wellness practice would be wonderful to introduce now as the moon goes into Virgo. And of course, coming from Leo, it's got to be something we love, right? Otherwise, it's not sustainable. And also, it's got to be something that shows our self love. And yeah, so recommitting to that and starting with that and being in that container during the practice. Then the moon goes into Libra on Thursday, will be most of the day, and will be in Libra on all day Friday, the 9th, and on a Saturday, the 10th, in the afternoon goes into Scorpio. The Libra moon always brings up themes around fairness, balance, right relationship, harmony, aesthetics, beauty, all of that. And yes, very important. We might feel that need more with the moon in Libra. And also, I want to speak a little bit about you uh, who were born in the 1970s to early 80s, who were born with Pluto in Libra and also with Uranus in Libra, some of you, part of you, okay, of that group. So born in the 70s, early 80s, you might have experienced in your own childhood, again with the moon, disruptions, divorces, and not so great relationships of your parents, or you could have experienced really good ones. But the point would be to actually either come to the core of it. What has been the core issue in what is for you the core and the soul of relationships, and has that been modeled to you? What has your experience been about that? And soul relationships are really important, and also from the Pluto side and from the Uranus side, relationships also requiring freedom and independence, right? So it doesn't have to be like a roller coaster and a total inconsistent, imbalanced, and disruptive situation. And it's got to be balanced, it's got to be in harmony. And that's not so easy these days, and even to find a good match. Why? Because the South Node is now in Libra. Since last year, since last July 2023 until the end of this year, South Node in Libra shows us also where Libra shadow comes up to be released. And that can have to do with prioritizing relationship at the expense of something else, like at the expense of your own um, integrity, at the expense of your freedom. Relationship gets too much weight, and it's actually an imbalanced situation, or also compensating for what others don't do in any dynamics with another, where things are not really balanced, or also compromising all of that, right? So it's a good time to take a good look at that and release what's not healthy about it, and what we don't want to carry over into the Aquarius age. And the North Northern Aries, of course, helps us with that, together with Chiron. So this is about healing early wounds, and also about authenticity, about renewal, about stepping forward, maybe being the first, or being a pioneer, right? So it's like something you don't have a model for, and but you feel like I gotta be truly myself, maybe for the first time. Authenticity, autonomy, all of that is Aries, warrior energy, and rather going it for yourself for a while at least, and then attracting really good matches from that place. Then the moon goes into Scorpio on Saturday at 3:34 p.m. We'll be in Scorpio all day Sunday and Monday as well, the end of this astro week, as the video goes. So the Scorpio moon is often feared, or like there's um, a kind of a daunting kind of thing around Scorpio, and only because Scorpio brings up deeper issues. I just talked about Pluto, ruler of Scorpio in Libra, for you born between 1972 and 1984. And then Pluto was in its own sign of Scorpio 1984 till 1995. So you tune more into the Scorpio moon, of course, and all things Scorpio. And yeah, so a Scorpio moon being not so popular only because it brings up the shadow and brings up deeper layers of emotions that are usually hidden and covered and need to be processed. So, but with that comes also a lot of empowerment, and comes also often a lot of magic, right? So the Scorpio moon can be quite a magical energy, and we don't get away with shallowness, superficiality. We really need to dive in, and emotional intimacy would be really important for the Scorpio moon. So I believe that's it now. Next week, more to come about the alignment of Mars, Jupiter, and square with Saturn, and even the full moon that this feeds into the full moon on the 19th of August. Lots coming up, and this is a beautiful start for it. So strengthen your a strong Leo, lion's heart, and warrior energy, and blessings for this beautiful 8-8 Lionsgate. Bye bye.